Tonight, we talk to psychic, clairvoyant, and paranormal convention organizer Nick Grossman about seeing demons, keeping cursed objects, and fucking heavy metal. Deep beneath the stacks of the New York Public Library, it's Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. Stay with us. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. I'm Brian, here as always with Eric. Eric, we're at Paraconn. It's this weekend. How you feeling?
Dude, it's coming up. I'm kind of nervous. We were joking, I think, off air about how it's like we feel like we're now future us is paying the due for the indiscretions of past us. And we're like, let's just sign up for a paranormal conference.
Yeah, let's table for both days and do a live show. That'll be great.
Live show.
We'll figure out how that'll go.
Yeah.
And now here we are. It's this weekend when this comes out. And here we are.
I'm
not
excited.
prepared.
Not prepared. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited to meet all the people there.
Bare minimum, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, hey, So this is coming out on Wednesday. The show is this weekend. If you're in the general driving distance of the great state of Connecticut, come to Paraconn. It's in Ansonia, Connecticut. You can find more information at Paraconn, con like Connecticut, .org. Paraconn.org. Our live show with Tess Feifel from Astonishing Legends is going to be on Sunday at 1:15 p.m. We're going to do about 20 minutes, and I think we're going to give away a cursed object, which I'm very excited. I can't wait to... I haven't told you everything yet.
Who, me? You haven't told me
I have
everything?
not told you some of the details of this cursed object that I have acquired.
I didn't even know. I knew you were on the hunt. I didn't know you actually acquired a cursed object.
I'm going to tell you about it off the air, and then we'll...
Oh, man.
But, okay, so... getting into the meat of this, we spoke to Nick Grossman, one of the co-organizers of Paraconn, who was also a clairvoyant, a psychic, and a shaman. And, oh boy, the conversation's incredible.
This is one of the wildest episodes I think we've... This is one of my favorite kind of episodes where we talk to a person who is really deep in a world that is just incredibly unique.
Yes. I think this is a really incredible interview. And I'm so excited for people to hear it. So let's just get into it.
Let's do it, man.
And here we are. It's Brian and Eric with Nick Grossman, the shaman half of the Shaman and the Showman, one of the co-organizers of Paraconn, coming up this weekend in Ansonia, Connecticut. Super excited to talk to him. Nick, how's it going, man?
Going great. Looking forward to Paraconn. I got to correct you. It's not weekend. It's freakend.
Freakend. My mistake.
That's we make the distinction because we call every weekend the freakend. So This is like, it's a different thing. So this is just a regular weekend.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. We have some great guests, and it's selling out even more than it was last year. I mean, it's selling even faster than it was last year. And we have John Zaffis and the amazing Kreskin and a whole load of psychics to do tarot readings and
it's
whatever.
A pretty incredible list, but you were mentioning you can. So this is like the first Connecticut paranormal convention. Or you guys have built it that way, right?
We started it last year was the first, but technically this is part 2.
Right, got it.
Is this part? Is this like a legit direct sequel to part 1?
Yes. Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question, Nick. So we spoke to Charles 2 times. Which I feel like is not. We just barely scratched the surface. He's got a lot to say.
We both have been on a big journey and have a lot to share.
Yeah, you guys are kind of like spirit brothers, huh? Like 2 sides of the same coin.
I would say, yeah, definitely.
He said he met you at his haunted house back in the day.
Well,
came.
Yeah, I went. I remember I was in line and I was with my son, and I keep. The line was about 10, 15 minutes long. And, it's not very uncommon for me to see a spirit zooming by if I'm in a like a haunted place, but Fright Haven had multiple anomalies. I could see this stuff. I could see it with my third eye flying by. And I'm thinking to myself, this would be an interesting place to do a paranormal investigation. And so I gave my ticket to Charles, which he was dressed as, Crypt Master Chucky. And I had no idea he was the owner. I didn't know. I thought he was like the manager or something, but I didn't know he was the actual owner. So I went up to him. I said, this place is haunted. Do you know this place is haunted? Do you guys have any weird phenomenons that go on here? And, he looked at me like, oh, yeah, it's definitely haunted. I mean, you're going to have fun. We have a lot of crazy actors inside there. And I said, no, I don't think you understand what I'm talking about. And I'm like, this place has some paranormal energy and I could actually see this stuff. I'm a clairvoyant and a psychic and a shaman. And he was very interested in it. And, he gave me his card. And immediately I just responded the next day or two. And we did this event that it was mind boggling upstairs of Fright Haven. It used to be a dance studio, so it's surrounded by mirrors. And I did like a kind of like a ritualistic spell on 50 people, put them in a shamanic trance.
Can we pause there for a second? You said you
Sure.
did a ritualistic spell. Where do you learn stuff like that? How do you know how to do that?
Comes natural for me.
Okay.
Really?
I always say this, like witchcraft, they need certain spells, but us shaman people, it comes natural to us.
Interesting.
We did a thing called scrying, and people were seeing their deceased loved ones come out of the mirror, and it was mind boggling. And then it turns out Charles did some research and I did a little research, and Fright Haven was actually built on a burial, like a Native American burial ground.
That's wild.
And I just knew it. I just knew it, and I was seeing stuff. And when me and Charles would promote events at Fright Haven, like hand out flyers, and I'd be taking pictures of this stuff and everything else. It was really wild. The place is cool. Fright Haven is cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely probably one of the best haunted house. I'm saying haunted as horror, but it is like
It is
they
a
do-
fun attraction.
Haunted house.
It is a
Exactly.
fun family attraction.
I'm a big nerd when it comes to horror.
Yeah.
I love the Misfits.
Nick is showing
I love
us
Texas
his Misfits
Chainsaw.
tattoo. He's got Jason.
Yeah, Michael
a-
Myers is somewhere's. He's right there.
An incredible collection.
Are those,
Exactly.
I don't know if this is rude to ask,
There
are
he
those
is.
tattoos under your eyes as well?
No, this is just dark makeup.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love the Misfits, and I like carrying on the tradition of like the horror punk.
Hell
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
It's gone
I
away.
love-
It needs to come back.
I love like all types of music, to be honest, but my roots come from the horror music scene, like metal and all sorts of black metal, death metal, Misfits, Hypo Negative. I love all that stuff, but I love everything else. As a matter of fact, I'm a musician myself, and honestly, I don't even play any of that music. I play flamenco guitar.
No shit.
That's
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I do something. I wanted to expand. I wanted to expand my horizon.
Yeah.
When I was playing in a lot of hardcore and punk rock bands, and I kind of just wanted to expand my horizon, and I started, learning like actually Metallica, and I was like, these guys are a lot like classical music. I'm thinking, so I started learning like all the scales, and
super technical,
I
right?
started, super technical. That's what I wanted because it's great for your mind. It's just
Sure.
great for your mind.
Do you, Nick, when you play flamenco, you ever get dancers? You ever do the flamenco, like
Never
play
did the
for the
dancers
flamenco
yet.
dancers?
But that's a good idea. I'll definitely do that. I love the slide guitar too. I like the blues and all that stuff.
Hell yeah.
The dirty Louisiana blues, I call it.
Nice.
But I do that. Yep.
I'd love to circle back real fast. So
Yeah.
you've mentioned you're a clairvoyant, you're a psychic,
Clairvoyant. I'm an empath.
and a shaman, empath. Could you explain or expand on what that's like, what exactly that is, and your
Well, I'll
experience with
start
that is?
like a little bit like growing up with this gift. I was born in 1980, and probably the first paranormal show on TV came out 1999, 2000, or something like that. I believe it was Ghost Hunters, but I'm from before then, so most people, it wasn't like this eruption that was going on now
Right.
with
Yeah.
people believing in this stuff. And so, I was seeing all sorts of stuff in my room. Like I grew up behind a convalescent home,
Okay.
and we used to play ninjas back there, and the nuns liked us a lot.
Hell yeah.
But once a week there'd be an ambulance, and they would bring out a stretcher with a sheet over the head of like somebody who died there, and we were very fascinated. As a matter of fact, every now and then I like volunteering there too. I like this to help bring the seniors, wheel them out.
Yeah.
But what I figured is, my house was very haunted growing up, and my grandfather's radio would turn on and off. I seen hundreds of demons come out of the mirror.
Wow.
Seen some terrible. Let me tell you, I don't even know how many demons I've ever seen in my life. There's been countless times, and I'm an artist, and sometimes I've considered painting their faces because they're completely different from what anything you would see.
Yeah.
I mean,
how do you, what's the distinction between, so you're seeing these entities, you're seeing these ghosts and spirits. What's the distinction between like, how do you know it's a demon versus some other kind of entity?
You're gonna
Real spooky looking ghost.
Let me tell you this. You guys aren't psychic, right?
We are not.
You don't have
Not that I'm aware of.
So if there was
not for lack of trying.
Yeah.
If there was a demon in that room that you're in,
Right.
you would probably be able to feel it.
What would you feel?
How strong they are.
What would
you
you
get sick to your stomach? You would definitely feel like there's a presence inside the room. Me, I see energy, so I see like aura energy, and I'll tell you what, these things are ugly, and I honestly call them fear in its purest form.
Wow.
And I've seen, I don't even know how many now. It's been so long. And then I figured that because so many people pass away in the convalescent home, that it must have opened up like some type of spirit portal. And then recently, I've been going to my neighbors. I live in West Haven now. This is Norwalk. But when my son's with me, I spend the weekend with my mother over there still.
Got it.
But recently I've been asking the neighbors. I was like, this may sound crazy, but do you guys ever get any weird phenomenon going in your house, like you feel like you're being watched? And their faces turn white.
Huh.
They're like, this is crazy. You have this too. And it's been very liberating for me that they're saying this too, because they're also getting the same activity. They don't see it, but objects go flying across the room. All sorts of stuff happens to my neighbors now, and I'm very fascinated by it, actually.
Nick, you said
another thing about the
sorry,
neighborhood. And no, sorry about that. It used to be an airport way back when planes first started. It used to be an airport, so there might be something about that as well. But I could see these things. As a matter of fact, when I do paranormal cases, I could walk into somebody's house and say somebody's doing magic in this house. I could feel it. Somebody's doing magic in here. Somebody died in this room. It just comes right to me.
You said you're a clairvoyant, you can see energy, you can see auras. Can you detect anything with Brian and I right now?
Yeah, does it work through a computer?
It could.
Oh boy. Uh-oh.
I honestly feel like you may have like some type of energy. It's possible that you may have some energy over there. Am I accurate about that or not?
I don't know who are you talking to me?
You, yeah.
When you say some kind of, I drink a lot of coffee today.
Yeah.
What kind of energy are we talking about?
Well, I just see a lot of murkiness there, and I know it's not
Hmm.
the camera. But
Okay.
the thing is interesting is when I walk into like a haunted place, I get this vision, and everything becomes murky, and it's very weird. But the best way to do it is in person, really
Interesting.
just walk through. Uh,
That makes sense.
but I've
Yeah.
been on like radio shows, and I had one lady host of the radio show tell me that her her audio was acting weird and it was unexplainable. So, there is definitely a connection with being psychic and electronic devices. As a matter of fact, spirits, often make the batteries die in our devices. So we have to double up on batteries.
Is that what's happening to my phone? That's my number one
Really?
question.
It is?
What's
Yeah.
that? No,
Could be.
just in general of my phone constantly running out of battery.
Yeah.
Can I blame it on ghosts?
Um, you got to rule everything out,
Fair enough.
stuff like that.
So it's probably just the battery degrading, but we won't take it entirely off the table.
I think are you a little freaked out up there?
Eric, you doing all right?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. Why?
All right.
Yeah, I'm just listening.
Should he be scared?
You know what? Me and Charles's events are interesting because we make it fun, scary, and educational.
That's
And
the
me,
best.
like I picked apart and dissected paranormal for a long, long time, and I have a lot of knowledge to share about this. And the world has definitely has been through like hell in the past 20 years or so, and we're colliding the dimensions. We're bleeding through the paranormal. So
Interesting.
everybody is getting all this evidence on their phone and everything else. And I feel like people like me are here to, you know, comfort people uh, when we go through this kind of thing, because we're evolving. The universe has expanded. We're expanding with it. We live longer. The seasons are longer. We're starting to all get paranormal stuff all over the place. And growing pains aren't fun sometimes, but people like me are out there. A lot of us. There's a hell of a lot of us, and that's why one of the reasons I feel like I'm here. It's like a calling.
What is it that you think? We mentioned Eric and I have no psychical abilities that we are aware of. What is it that you think is? Do you think there's a physical difference? Do you think what is it you think that gave you the abilities and insights that you have?
Well, you know what? I just started sharing this after, you know, all my life experience paranormal. I kind of kept this to myself because I didn't want people to think I was crazy.
Sure.
But when I was about 2, 3 years old, I lived in a different house in Norwalk. And, now, being 2 or 3 years old, you don't really remember much
Right.
as an adult.
Yeah.
But, I remember clearly these 3, 4, 5 glowing beings. You couldn't see their face because they were so bright.
Huh.
I like to consider them like some type of angels or something like that.
Interesting.
They could be something else, but they visited me, just about every night, and even thinking it as an adult, reminiscing about that is a very warm, fuzzy feeling inside, and I remember it. And when you're 2 or 3 years old, nobody remembers stuff, but this is something I remember, and I believe that's how I got my gift. I also heal
Interesting.
people. I heal people on a ghost tour. We did the White Lady. We do a ghost tour looking for the White Lady, and there was a man who had arthritis in his toe, and I took it right out of him. To this
Really?
day,
How
he has
can you
no pain.
explain that a little bit, or what does that entail?
There's a thing called psychic surgery,
Yeah, yeah.
and it originated, I believe, it's a shamanic practice that I believe originated in Central America and South America. And I didn't learn this, but it's just the same thing. They get like knives and stuff like this, and they pretend they don't touch the person,
Huh.
but
Right.
they do it in their mind that they're cutting out the wound. So when I do, I don't use any tools, I use my hands. So what I do is, like, there was a gentleman that had a bad knee that night too, when I did it to him. And I held his hand, and I shoot white, bright light through his body, going in, into
Mm-hmm.
his knee. And I look and I picture the wound, what it looks like in the knee, and I see these white explosions of these bright white light like you'd never even believe, you know, fusing up the wound. And then after I'm done with that, I pull, the negativity out of the knee. It's a very shamanic thing, uh, and that usually does the trick.
Is
The gift.
is shamanism, you identify as a shaman opposed to like another sort of occult practitioner, like you don't call yourself a wizard, or like you call yourself a shaman.
Yeah, or
What
Swami, probably somebody people would say.
what is like what distinguishes a shaman? What makes someone a shaman?
Well, a shaman is somebody born with access to the supernatural realm,
Mm.
and you have to. When you're a kid, you're going to experience stuff. You're not going to know what's going on, but you have to accept the calling, because if you don't, you're going to go completely insane, because the spirits make you, torment you until you accept the calling. And it's actually, if you look this up, it's a phenomenon called shamanic illness.
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
somebody who doesn't know they have this,
Huh.
and they don't know what's going on, but they get very, very ill. And we're born naturally with access to the supernatural world.
Yeah, I've read, especially like in like the Inuit peoples. I remember reading stories and accounts of like a kid would be born and be sort of having problems, and a
Right.
shaman would kind of show up, and
Yeah.
he'd be like, "Oh no,
He's a
he's
calling. Yeah.
exactly," and I got to take him and initiate him. And did you have that? Did someone initiate you? Did you? How did you?
Nobody initiated me. I just,
You're a
what,
renegade.
I'm a renegade. I always have been. So I was doing art shows for a while.
Mm,
I started in Bridgeport, and I worked my way to New York City. And every time I sold a painting, I would go offer to go to the collector's house and do a spiritual cleansing. And that's how I discovered, I actually have a, a cleansing and a healing gift
mm.
to rid of spirits from people's homes. That's when the calling happened right there. And I've
Wow.
been doing paranormal for about 20 some odd years, 20 years, 21 years probably. And I recently established myself in the past 4 years in the community and doing events and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's been quite a journey. And you know what? Shamanism goes back into Europe and everything else. Every country
Yeah.
has shamanism, and if you go to Scandinavia, like, people still have shamans there and everything else. Native American, South American, uh, North Korea, or not North Korea, Korea has shamans.
Wow.
Um, all Asia has shamans and everything else. It's a practice that's probably one of the oldest forms of spirituality. Think of it, goes back to caveman times.
Sure.
That was their spiritual leaders, were the shamans of the tribe. You know, it goes way back. When Africa, of course.
Yeah,
You
everywhere,
know,
Right.
all over
oh
the
yeah,
world.
it's all over, and every heritage, every nationality has them. But I'm grateful to have this gift. It was very painful growing up with it. It was extremely painful, and I hated it when I grew up. But I'm very grateful because we help people. Uh, I have a group of psychics that come with me doing these paranormal investigations, and we don't charge
Wow.
anything for it. We sometimes accept donations if we don't push for it, but we don't charge, because when you're given a gift from a higher world, you shouldn't charge for it. That's just, most paranormal investigators don't charge, believe it or not.
Wow. I mean, that's rad.
Yeah,
Um,
they say the best things are like in life. They say nothing's free in life, but if you ask me, paranormal investigators, that's a very beautiful thing. That's
yeah.
actually 100% free.
I will say we had an interesting conversation with Charles, and if I may interpret what he said, I feel like he's slightly more mercenary about things and kind of in it for that sweet cash. Is that a source of conflict between you guys, or you guys just
What's that? I'm
is
sorry.
that a source of conflict between you guys, or you guys
for what?
Well, just in the sense that Charles, I feel like, he's like a showman. You know what I mean? He likes the
Yeah.
business side of things. He likes to charge tickets. He's he's sort of a P.T. Barnum character.
He absolutely is. And sometimes I joke on ghost tours and say that he's actually related to P.T. Barnum. But he's very passionate, and he's definitely, me and him both are very business when it comes to events, but he's definitely very passionate about it, and definitely very P.T. Barnum-ish. As a matter of fact, he has a little getup that he dresses of it, and we do theaters and everything else, and it's a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, there was an article that came out of Hartford Current that said talked about me and Charles, and it talked about Charles being the promoter like Ed Warren, and me being the Lorraine Warren.
It makes, what do you know? There we go.
Absolutely. We make a great pair, me and him.
Hell
great
yeah.
Pair. And we're ready to move on. We're probably going to start hitting the road to Massachusetts after Paraconn, because rumor has it we have some stuff cooking up over there. So I'm very excited about hitting the road with Charles.
Can we get a little sneak peek of what's bubbling in the cauldron in Massachusetts?
Or is it all confidential?
Salem Con.
Oh, nice.
But excuse me, I didn't mean to.
Of course.
Sure.
No, me and Charles, best friend, one of the best friends I've ever had, brother, family like.
Great guy.
Could I be more blessed to have a business partner like him? But we've been on quite a hell of a journey, me and him.
It sounds
We do ghost tours all over Connecticut. It's crazy. Like, me and him do all sorts of ghost tours all over Connecticut. I think one of my favorite ghost tours was Stepney Cemetery in Monroe.
Eric and I have talked about that before. Could you expand on that?
Oh my. People get all sorts of stuff when we go there. Our ghost tours are great. We offer dinner, a paranormal lecture, and a walkthrough of the haunted with hands-on training of equipment.
Oh, wow. Really making a night out of it.
Yeah, we make a night out of it. And Stepney Cemetery, everybody just gets, we haven't failed yet of people getting phenomenal evidence. As a matter of fact, not even talking ghost tours, but I went there with my group one time, and I had my camera guy and one of my psychics named Diane. My camera guy's named Hector. And nothing was really going on that night. It was very weird and very uncommon for nothing to go on that night. And Diane got her pendulum out, and she said, "Will we see the white lady?" And I said, "Yes." So we stayed there for about an hour. No white lady. Nothing happened. We packed up. We got on the highway. All of a sudden, this white cloth flew in front of my car.
No.
And I swerved. I actually swerved. And everybody saw it. And, we saw her. That had to be her. Diane definitely saw the face, but I just saw a white cloth. And on my way back, I'm dropping them off. And, I had my window open. It was the summertime with my hand on the, driving like this. And all of a sudden, I get on Route 8. And all of a sudden, I feel and hear this, and everybody hears it. A human slap on my hand.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Everybody heard it. So we got our white lady. And you know what? I wish I had a camera on that dashboard. I'll tell you this, there's been so many times that I regretted not having the record button doing paranormal. So I make sure to have it all the time. But whenever I do Stephanie, I'm having my camera on the dashboard, because it's very common for her to actually run out in the middle of the road. And it happened to me. It happened to us.
Oh, God, the white lady to run out in the middle of the road. Got it.
Yeah. Wow. It was wild. It was definitely wild, and I swerved. That's how real it was.
So
this was a white sheet And it did not look like a spirit transparent.
Looks
This
like a
was
real
full-
fabric.
Wow.
Yes.
So
Was
I gotta
wild.
ask, of like, especially as someone who's had these experiences for most of his life, and as a horror fan, how
Yeah.
often do you find yourself freaked out when you get into situations like this? Because you've mentioned
Almost never now.
several things that Eric and I would have already just pooped our pants and run away.
Yeah,
That
almost
would've
never now. Almost never. Have a tolerance to this stuff. I want to say the last time I got freaked out was probably we just did this ghost tour in Waterbury at this haunted tavern. It's abandoned, and but we got permission from the owner to go,
Okay.
and it was very freaky. You know what I gotta say? It was very freaking being in that basement by myself down there. Oh no,
Yeah.
there's this demon house in Derby,
Oh,
and
Charles
that's
told us
probably
to ask you
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah. He did.
that's the most badass, one of the more badass places. And I remember after the ghost tour the next day, or no, before the ghost tour, I went up there just to organize stuff and make sure everything was clean. Because a lot of times before ghost tours, I do that. I go to the place, and I went up there that night.
When you
You know,
say it
like,
was clean, do you mean like spiritually clean?
no, regular, just for people.
Oh, okay. You're like wiping stuff
Yeah,
down. Gotcha.
exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
And
All right.
I'll tell you this: I didn't like being up there by myself. And you
Sure.
know what? I wish I could show this video with you guys because it's for my documentary. Otherwise, I would share this. But we actually have a creature staring at us through the window. And it's like the most cutting edge evidence I've ever got in my
Really?
life. And it's there.
A creature, you say? Did
A
it have a
creature.
form?
It had a kind of like it had a white face and white glowing eyes, but the eyes were very separate. They're not human.
Huh.
You could tell because they were so separated. I show people on like ghost. I wish I could show it on to you guys here, but I just can't. I have to save it.
Of course.
My
That's
documentary. My documentary is called Expedition Hell, and it's
Hell
about
yeah.
all the cases, the dark cases I've had.
Is it out? Can people go get it?
Not yet.
Not
We're-
yet. When
we
does
are
it drop?
We still have to do like the interviewing process with the cinema camera. So I'm gonna say probably I'm gonna start establishing it maybe like September, October. I'd like to get it into some film festivals.
You
Oh,
gotta
man.
come back
Yeah,
when you start
come back on
promoting
the
it.
show.
Absolutely, 100%. And then we're gonna do Expedition Hell 2.
Yes.
And
The sequel's
go-
already in the works.
Yeah, you can't just do one. I feel like
Yeah.
this is a trilogy.
we're
sort of
going to
situation.
Massachusetts. I might as well. You know, and we just did this one place with two brothers extreme paranormal who are friends of ours, and there's this Husaic tunnel in Massachusetts, and over 130 people died building it. As a matter of fact, they couldn't even retrieve the body, so they cemented the bricks in.
Oh, that's
And
just
they're still
guaranteed
in
ghost
there.
time.
Fairly
So we went
morbid.
in there, and I got a bunch of footage I still have to go through, but we are definitely going into Massachusetts and New England, and seeing what's out there. I'm
Wow.
very excited about it too.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, Fairfield Hills is another. Oh my God.
Maybe we can
Wild.
lump this in with a larger question that I have. So obviously, Paraconn going to be a big event. Hopefully people are driving in from all over. Are there any places that you would maybe recommend, maybe two hypothetical idiot podcast pals go check out while we drive into Connecticut?
Sure. Well, one easy place is actually Booth Memorial Park Estate in Stratford, Connecticut. And what's nice about it is it's open till 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
So me and Charles get permission to go into like restricted places, which is good about our ghost tours.
How
But
difficult
this
is it
one-
to get permission? How often is it
Well,
like?
me and Charles have been around for a while.
Sure.
So
People know you
I think
guys.
it's an establishment and a trust thing.
Got it. That makes sense.
We get a lot of we try to get articles written and stuff like that. But the beautiful thing about Booth is it's open till 11. It's a very creepy estate property, and it has a cemetery attached to it that you can walk there at night.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it has a witch's altar because the Booth brothers is very interesting. They were from when Connecticut was a colony,
Right.
and they were filthy rich, and they got very bored And so they both started studying the occult together.
I feel like if there's
Yeah.
enough money and time, it always ends up either in like a sex cult or like an occult study, or maybe some
Yeah.
kind of combo of the
Yep.
two things.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they get into some weird stuff sometimes, but
Yeah.
there's a witch's altar there and all sorts of stuff that you could check out, and it's a great little starter for paranormal investigation.
Are there any places, Nick, that you won't go or recommend people don't go that are maybe too dangerous, or you think something bad can actually happen?
I don't know, but one guy on my team, Jeff Gary, CT Pass, he's a pretty fearless dude. For me, I'll go anywheres, but he won't go to Hookmans Cemetery, and that says a lot because he's a pretty fearless dude.
Interesting.
He's actually surprised by it. Yeah.
Is it what is it about? Where is that?
What
What is it?
That's it's in Seymour, and it's a very dark cemetery. I've been there in the daytime, and even the daytime,
I might have lived right by that. I didn't know that was a spooky place.
Hookmans, yeah, it's very, very spooky, and something followed him home, and it's never left him.
No.
There, so he won't go back in. I tried to get him to go back in there, and it says a lot because he's been doing it for about 20 years also. And
what is that? What followed him home? What happened?
Some type of demonic entity in the form of it's a shapeshifter followed him home.
You can't get rid of it.
He can't get rid of it.
Huh.
I can't get rid of it. I don't. I never got into the conversation where if he wanted me to try to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And that's mainly because he has he's got some occult stuff going on, and he has a lot of knowledge to get rid of it himself, and I just never thought to ask him if he needs assistance.
Is there a code of conduct among psychics and clairvoyants of hey, don't mess with my ghosts, I'll deal with my ghosts?
It's my parasite. That's fine. Do you think?
No, I just.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just thought I saw something in the background there.
Oh no, I hate that.
Thought I did, but it could be your movement making the shadow go. But
which camera are you talking about?
Yeah.
Eric, it was you.
It was me. I think you really get out of here.
I thought so, but I think it's your movement.
I do. Is it?
You gotta. Yeah, it's that. Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta debunk everything.
You can't just do that to me. I can't. I'll never sleep again.
Yeah.
Eric, it's either your movement or something that is now miming your movement.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, a shadow doppelganger that's gonna slowly suck my life energy away. Fuck. How many people just are walking around with these kind of parasites and entities just trailing them? You know what I mean? Is this super? Do you walk down the street and you just see a dude with a throbbing worm coming out of his head and stuff?
Not a throbbing word, but a lot of times, vintage clothing or Victorian clothing or soldier clothing or a family member that's
it carries something with it.
Yep.
What about antiques? That's a serious question, furniture.
I have a collection of occult antiques with spirits attached to them. As a matter of fact, I started a museum that was actually across from the armory where we're doing Paraconn. I started a museum for a while, but because of coronavirus, I had to shut it down for a while. But I'm in the process of looking for a new place, and there's actually a haunted place that my buddy owns called the Curtis House in Trumbull. And it's high energy in there.
Really?
I got some cutting edge stuff on video at that place, and we're considering opening it there when he's ready to get that house going. But I have occult artifacts, and I have videos of the dolls move in motion and everything else they move by themselves.
Like that.
How did you come across all of these objects? Have you been seeking them out?
Basically, from going on paranormal investigations, a lot of times there would be spirits. The spirits would be attached to the artifacts that they love the most. But sometimes I would buy it off of collectors. And the interesting thing is, I did this for research purposes. The museum was really, for me and my team, a study lab, but we wanted to share it with the public, so we made it a museum too, so they could enjoy it too.
Sure.
but it was actually a study lab, and we studied. We did a lot of experiments, with the artifacts there that were very interesting, and a lot of stuff happened in there, and people really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to opening again. I'm not in a rush, but they're definitely going to be on display at Paraconn.
I
The
can't wait
artifacts.
to see them.
As a matter of fact,
Yep.
I got one box. This actually got donated at the last Paraconn. I did a lecture with Charles. After the lecture, people line up and they like to ask me questions and answers. So I'm answering everybody's questions. Finally, this gentleman comes up. He's kind of sweating on his head, very nervous. And I'm like, okay, this is weird, but he said his name is so and so, and he said I have like an artifact from Aleister Crowley, the most wicked man in the world. So it's just long story short. I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. I'd like to investigate. Where do you live? He said, no, I have it here with me.
Oh man.
Okay. I said, I collect this stuff. Why don't you bring it in? So he comes in. His friend was into the dark arts, and his friend left him a bunch of stuff when he died. So he had this one box, this blue box that says devil inside with an ancient spell book. And so he told me the little rundown, and I took the box by the handle, and the thing's shaking, vibrating on its own. So just to make everybody safe at Paraconn, I rushed it where I have a storage real quick. And I opened the box, and he was like, there it is. There you have it. Just please be responsible and take good care of it. And he was like, gotta go buy. And he ran like a Stephen King movie or something like that. And if you read this spell book, your hands will start vibrating.
What's in there? What's in the book?
Well, it's not just the book. What's in there is a bottle with an ancient cage specifically welded for the bottle.
Oh my
Customized.
God.
It is. And it has a lock on it it's waxed to the top. And there's that and a few other little items.
Did you open it?
No,
You don't open the demon bottle,
No.
Eric.
I
Come
feel
on,
like
that's
it's asking-
101.
it's like asking to be opened.
I honestly thought about doing it though
Yeah.
for research purposes, but I'm
Thank
too
you.
scared because I don't need, like, I've been cursed before and I don't need any curses.
What's the experience of being cursed like?
Good God, you don't want it.
I have a second question.
You don't want it.
Tapped
I got
in.
so screwed up with that. No need to get into that, guys. No offense.
Sure.
but
No, of course.
Okay,
Of
don't
course.
want it. It's very difficult to get used. As a matter of fact, there's a gentleman in New Haven. He had a very dark Santeria curse on him.
Wow.
It was the darkest form of Santeria. As a matter of fact, Santeria, they use it to help people usually, but there's that
Yeah.
10% of them that do it, and they have a religion called Palo Mayombe, and it's when they use human remains to do their rituals. And this
In the
gentleman,
Maganga, right? In the cauldron?
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. And it was very difficult for me to help this man. I felt so bad for him, but it was a very complicated thing.
Yeah.
But I helped the person in the home. It was a long story, but curses are very hard. They're more of a personal thing, really.
Yeah.
You have to do it yourself with a shaman. It's very, very complicated. You don't want it.
I had a question about a couple of weeks ago we spoke to J.W. Oker, who wrote a book called Cursed Objects, and he was talking about the way to sort of rid yourself of a cursed object is to pass that cursed object onto somebody else. When people are showing up at Paracons with like, here, I brought you this, how do you avoid taking that on yourself? Or is that not a concern?
Well, a curse is going to be more personal for you.
Got it.
Usually. It's from a dark magician.
So it's like a
sending it at you
direct
personally.
personal attack.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, but you will, again, like if a cursed person walked in the room, you're probably going to get a feeling like this guy's trouble, or you're going to get that feeling from them.
Interesting.
You're going to see that, I actually have, I wish I could share this video. but I have a video of me doing exorcism on this man, and you could see his skin is actually pale and gray because, whatever the entity was definitely moving from oppression to possession on the
Huh.
man. So it took multiple exorcisms
How
on the
many?
man.
How did you get into like where? How do you are exorcisms another thing that have come naturally? Something you can naturally
Naturally, yeah.
do. Wow.
As a matter of fact, I have a contraption called the Scry Master, and I get a
I love
mirror.
that.
I get a mirror, and I put candles in front of the mirror, and I get 2 strobe lights. I set one speed for fast and one speed for slow in the left eye. Then I get 2 vibration pads, and the same thing. Speed. I set one speed for high vibration, one speed for low, and then I get these special speakers that do a beat, one low and one high pitch. And what that does is that they look in the mirror and it opens up their mind. It hypnotizes them.
Huh.
And when the mind is open like that, um, we put them in a shamanic trance, and then we extract the spirit, and then we trap it in a bottle and seal it with wax, and then we put it in the collection or the museum.
Wow. Wow.
That's what we do. So
Have you-
it takes about like 30 to 40 minutes, but sometimes it takes multiple attempts.
Sure.
Have
to
you
extract it.
you have all this knowledge, all these learnings. You said you kind of initiated yourself. You discovered this on your own. Have you studied at all? Like after you sort of became established, have you sought out
did.
any teachers or other folks in this community?
Just my own experiences, my own studies, and like I said, the museum taught me a lot of knowledge and wisdom on the paranormal, and just my own experiences. But to be honest with you, when I had all that stuff happening to me in middle school and as a kid and a teenager, I thought fight fire with fire. So I actually took my paycheck from my part-time job and went to Barnes and Nobles and went to the occult section, and I experimented with all sorts of dark things that didn't do me so well.
That famously reliable occult section in Barnes and Noble.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what? I'm a shaman, but I'm definitely, I believe in Jesus Christ.
Oh, interesting.
But
so you're a Christian shaman.
A Christian shaman, yeah. But you know what? I am a believer in this. This is America. Everybody has the right to believe in whatever they want. I'm a big supporter of anybody's beliefs.
I have a sort of controversial question, and I mean this with total respect.
Sure.
Do you view Jesus as a shamanic
shaman,
figure?
Yes, or a swami, yes, absolutely, 100%. The shaman, in what I believe.
Interesting.
But yeah, he definitely is. I mean, think about it. The guy could expel, a demon out of you like that.
There are really interesting theories that Jesus actually had trained in Eastern Asia, potentially Tibet, and picked up techniques there and came back to the.
I believe that. There's this Gnostic religion.
Yep.
That there's some stuff that I actually believe in that kind of stuff, and it's Christianity pre-Christianity, and it's it really, if you want to learn about Jesus being a shaman, they have some very interesting stuff on there. It's a very interesting. It borderlines Kabbalism too, but it's Christianity. It's literally Christianity before Christianity.
Have you read Brian Muraresku? He wrote a book called The Immortality Key: The Religion with No Name.
No, but I will.
Dude, check it. You might really. It's a really awesome book, and it's an explanation basically of these psychedelic cults in the ancient world, like the Eleusinian mysteries and stuff. That sort of that his theory is the original sacrament and all this stuff was actually like a psychedelic hallucinogenic thing, and it was part of a larger ritual.
It could be. A lot of I don't personally do this, but a lot of shamans do use psychedelic drugs, and that's what they do to get themselves in a trance and heal people. That's what they do. I don't really need to do that stuff, but
I've also heard
I'm not against it.
I've also heard in an interview Ed Warren say that drugs are like the closest way to get yourself into that state,
Absolutely,
which is
yeah,
interesting.
I would say.
If you can't naturally get there, I suppose.
Right, exactly. And shamans naturally get there, but some like to, heighten their experience and go on like a psychedelic journey and free their mind. They free their mind. There's nothing wrong with it as long as you do stuff in, I guess, in moderation. I just never
Sure.
had a use to do it. Never did it. Never had a use. I'm naturally boom.
Are there
yeah.
any is there anything that you need to do to get yourself into a I'm so uneducated in how this works. Is there anything to get into a state, or are you just naturally at a 10 at all times?
I'm naturally
Spooky Town.
I'm usually naturally there at all times, but one great thing to do that I do is you get some candles, you put on some gargantuan chants, and you stare at the candle. You want to give it, you know what? It's very for somebody who's not a shaman. It's going to take some training because you're going to get these random thoughts and you have to throw them out of your head.
Sure.
And it doesn't take long till you get it in the habit of this meditation. And one time I was doing it for about an hour, and all of a sudden I was literally in nothingness, and everything was all white, blank white, and I knew God was right next to me, and I was floating in nothingness. And you may actually astral project yourself, which is your conscious soul flying out of your body temporarily, and there's actually a whole nother realm to explore doing that, and that's actually another shamanic thing. As a matter of fact, I had an astral projection one time. I was flying in the clouds with these two female angels. They had me by my hands, and they were guiding me through the clouds, and it was very spiritual.
Wow, that sounds incredible.
Yeah. It's definitely a real realm. There's more interdimensions we don't even realize, but there's so many interdimensions that are right next to us at all times. Literally, the paranormal is just one, and we're literally bleeding through a little bit.
Wow.
This is the evolution of the universe and life itself and existence itself. It's happening right now, and we have probably about another 5 years of chaos. You know what? The government is now saying UFOs are real.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are interdimensional things. They can't catch those things. They try to shoot them down. It jams the computer. Those are interdimensions, and we're getting ready to actually meet our neighbors. We're getting ready to meet interdimensional. It's going to happen in the next 5 years. I can tell you that.
Wow.
Nick,
It's going to happen. I mean, think about what's going on right now. I mean, our seasons are lasting longer. We're growing longer. We are living longer. Everything has expanded. It's because the universe has expanded, and part of that expansion is that we're going to start getting more interdimensional.
It certainly does feel like we're in some kind of weird transitional time.
Absolutely. 5 years.
Do you have, as Brian and I kind of explore this space and get deeper into it and sort of dabble in this stuff, do you have any advice for us?
Just a lot of meditation, and go for a nice hike in the woods by yourself. The Appalachian Trail is a very nice place. Go by yourself in the woods. As a matter of fact, you know what's weird? I love hiking in the woods. I'm kind of a woods guy, a woodsman, and animals come right up to me.
Like Snow White.
Yeah. One time I was in the woods, and there was a buck with big antlers, and he was next to his girl, the female deer. And
hell yeah,
they were just so curious about me. I just walked right up with my hand.
No shit.
And they started licking my hand. Now, that buck could have mauled me if it
Yeah,
wanted.
those things will fuck
But
you
I
up,
know-
dude.
Yeah, those are no. They got those big horns.
Yeah. Another time I seen a moose.
Those
That-
are no joke.
That was
They're
very
huge.
intimidating. And
Yeah.
that was one time where like it was intimidated by me back. But there was another time, there was a lake by my house, and I like to take my harmonica to the lake and play on the bench. And I noticed that there was this duck with a big tumor on its wing. Now I stopped my harmonica, I'm looking at it, and it walks up to me, and I'm sitting on the bench, and it literally pucks on my shoe and falls asleep.
Wow.
But those are the gifts
Whoa.
of I'm a shaman. Those are gifts. And you know what? Shamans are born naturally with this, but all of us people have the ability to have psychic abilities.
I was
Wow.
So,
So we're all capable of it.
We are, yeah. And that's
can you learn it?
that's where I come in. And people like me
Got
come
it.
in.
Can people learn it? Like, can you teach people this
They
stuff?
call us crystal children, indigo children,
Mm.
rainbow children, some people call it. But we're different, more supernatural form of person that is here to transition. We're helping everybody with the bleeding,
Wow.
bleed through the realities.
I guess I have a big question here. You're saying like there's going to be a big event in like 5 years. Do you think we'll be ready for it, or is it going to be
We're
pandemonium?
gonna be ready for it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good.
Excellent.
That's good.
Yeah. We're gonna be ready for it. I don't know what it is, but it's gonna happen.
Wow.
5 more years of chaos.
That sounds
5
about
more
right. I
years of
believe.
chaos.
I believe that
Yeah,
part.
at
You have
least.
to realize one thing is important. I say this all the time. The meaning of life is about survival, but it's not our personal survival. It's helping people in need survive. That's the meaning of life, and that's what we're all starting to realize now.
I think that's or sorry, Eric, do you have another question?
Yeah, I had one selfish question for you. So I'm staying at this Airbnb right now, and every night around dusk, I go outside, and there's 2 big old fat old porcupines
Oh yeah.
sitting on the roof above the door, just eating crab apples that they found.
Yep.
And they're just like hanging out, and they're kind of like, I go outside, they kind of chitter at me a little bit. I'm like, what's up, guys? It's nice. I feel like I have like neighbors kind of sharing the space.
They don't mind you.
No.
That means you have good vibes.
Okay, I got
Eric
the
has good vibes.
Yeah.
I can confirm.
I have
If an
good
animal like
porcupine
that
vibes.
doesn't mind you, a porcupine. I've never seen a porcupine yet. I know we have them in Connecticut. Where are you staying?
I'm in upstate New York.
Okay. So if an animal like a porcupine, which they're not aggressive, but
No.
they are very defensive.
Sure.
They are.
I left them an apple. I think
Yeah,
that was a good overture.
Give them an apple, and next time you see them, did you give them personally the apple? Roll it to them?
I left it where they would be.
Yeah,
I'm a
well,
little
next-
afraid of the spine.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything.
Okay.
But take the apple with you, carry it on you, and next time roll it at them.
Oh, they
Maybe
ate it.
run
It's
away.
gone. This apple's gone. They ate that thing.
Then
Well,
they
you bring him another
so
one,
that's
Eric.
a very good
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
You know, when an animal likes you like that, and they're a wild animal's not scared of you, that means you have a zen towards you, zen about you. That's what it is.
Just want to do our due diligence
very
real
good
fast.
thing.
Unless it's a squirrel, they might have rabies. Be careful.
Yeah.
Just due diligence there.
Yep.
Nick.
Another weird thing,
Yep.
another weird thing I noticed is that, my yard in Norwalk has all this wildlife there, and Norwalk's a city, and like we have like everything. We have foxes that live under the shed. We have groundhogs that live on the shed, or red squirrel, woodpeckers, all sorts of stuff just came there, and I believe that I have this ability that attracts them over there.
Wow.
And it's very peaceful, actually. The backyard in Norwalk's a city, and you never think that it would have such, wildlife like that. But my backyard, my mother's backyard, it's very peaceful.
Huh.
Tons of rabbits. I feed the animals too. I love giving them carrots and I love the little chipmunk. It lives under the stair. And
Those guys are fun.
I chop up a carrot like whenever in there, and I put it there for him.
Who doesn't love a fat little chipmunk?
Yeah.
Um,
And whenever it sees me, it goes. like that. It's so funny. But, I love the animals.
You mentioned your mother. I'm curious. Does these gifts run in your family at all? Are you the only one, or?
Well, I mean, the psychic told her that. My mother's very empathic, so that could be like a gift. But a psychic did tell her at Paraconn that she has a gift, but it doesn't really. I haven't had any ancestors with any psychic abilities. To be honest, I really haven't.
Interesting.
My son, though, is extremely empathic. As a matter of fact, if you're sad and you're in tears, he'll start crying with you, and even if he's randomly on the street and doesn't even know somebody and sees somebody, he'll have the need to go up and hug them and cry with them.
Wow.
So he's very empathic. Yes.
Wow.
My son, extreme.
That's intense. Wow.
Yeah.
Nick, we're about out of time, but
you.
Can't thank you enough. This was an incredible conversation. We hope you'll come back again sometime soon. You're going to be at Paraconn. That is July 16th and 17th. Two other assholes that are going to be there. Us, Brian and Eric.
Nice.
We're going to be tabling both days, and then we're speaking Sunday at 1 p.m. Don't miss it, you freaks.
I can't wait to see you guys.
It's going to be
Come on, let's do some headbanging.
There we go.
Everybody.
we're really
This is audio only, but believe me, we're doing it.
Yeah, we're headbanging hard. Yeah.
All right, brothers. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Nick. Really
big
appreciate
blessings. Big blessings for both of you, and I wish you many peace and love moments throughout the week.
I'm glad we cleared up the whole shadow demon situation.
So that's
a big relief. Yeah,
I thought it was something, but then I saw the movement in you.
No,
but those
just Eric's big old head.
Yeah, my big old Irish noggin just flopping around.
Yeah, you have a Zen, a porcupines. Remember.
Hell yeah.
Work on that Zen. Practice the Zen.
Hey, it's Brian, your best friend, here at the end for some footnotes. Thank you again to Nick Grossman. He was super illuminating on some pretty spooky topics. I might have a little trouble sleeping tonight, but that conversation was so much fun. You know what's crazy helpful and makes us feel real nice? Rating and reviewing the show on iTunes or leaving us a comment on YouTube. We read everything. You can even tell us it sucks, even if that's kind of mean. You can do you, though. We really appreciate it. We're on Twitter at Brian and Eric Pod, and you can also email us at spookybriananderic@gmail.com. Also, we've got a bonus episode coming out on Friday. We spoke to Charles Rosenay again, all about Paraconn and his new book, True Ghost Stories of Connecticut. He gives us a couple of interesting passages that you might find in that book. And if you caught our last show with him, you know it's a good one. All right. For both of us here at Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here, thank you for listening. And stay safe out there.